Okay, hey, I am Annabelle Drum, and it's wintertime. I'm here in Sydney, Australia.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey Carl, and I'm in Woodstock, New York, in the Catskill Mountain Range. And it's a beautiful summer day, and a beautiful morning here. Hope you're
Fabulous.
all well. Hope you're
Sounds
all well
good.
out there.
Yay. And we're working on at the moment a series on the 13 chakras, and we're up to number 4, the Heart Chakra at the moment. What color is that, Jeffrey?
It's the heart chakra. It's green, and then it's also goes into like a rainbow light into the higher heart chakra. So
Ooh, that
basically,
sounds
it's
nice.
greenish. But then the heart is the center. So really, it's number four if you're counting from the bottom up. But actually, the way I really count it, it's number one. The heart is number one.
Uh-huh.
Center of the chakra system.
Right.
It's the center of our life and our body.
Mhm.
And the heart is pretty much the center of our heart is the atom of our consciousness. And it's pretty much the heart is what the divine creator, mother, father, God sends us out as a soul. We're all hearts. And we go out into the universe as beings of love to go experience life in all its forms. And our heart is entered to that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and you were talking about like a lower and an upper heart, didn't you? Like you said, there were different colors there.
Yeah,
Can you
because the
explain that
heart
a little
is,
bit further?
well, just to remind people that the chakra system is the light body system, energetic system of our body. So like when I talk, we have like these points that bring us into the chakras. They're kind of like connection points to us. But the chakra is basically like orbs of light and consciousness that swirl through. That comes all the way to the physical and all the way to the multidimensional. So
Mm-hmm.
the information that we get from our heart or from any one of the chakras can be physical. It can be on the emotional plane. It can be on the psychological plane. It can be on the astral plane. It can be on the soul plane. And it can be higher into our oversoul consciousness.
Mm.
And,
Is it worth talking about those planes now, or was that make a really good discussion some other time? Because it sounds like there's quite a lot of them there.
yeah, these are just planes. We can keep going and talking about them and talking about them because there's all kinds of aspects, and there's not just one. There's just not one line of thought around these. Pretty much everybody's going to
Right.
have their own feelings and thinkings, but what we're trying to do is direct you to these centers so that you
Yeah.
understand that you have these light centers in your body, and the heart being the center creates many different things. So the physical heart, which would be more around with the fourth, where what people would consider the fourth chakra, which is kind of just up in our breastplate. Can you
Hmm.
see me? Or have I
Yeah,
frozen?
you're frozen, but I can hear you fine.
And so that our heart, our physical heart, is the nurturing part of our body. It's where the blood comes through. It has the first brain in our body. Is the heart has its own brain. It has its own electrical system in order to keep it going. It
Hmm.
had its electrical system when we were first an egg. Before anything else was created, the heart was created first,
Right. Yeah, I've seen that.
so it could pump out energy. So the heart pumps out the blood. It takes the lymph through the system. It also creates the electrical field around us and the electrical magnetic field around us.
So when we talk about Merkabahs, is this where it comes from as well?
Yes, this is where the back of our heart chakra. Once we activate it with our love and just allowing this love vibration to go through, and some other mental adjustments and visualizations, but basically that this is the key part of the activation because the electric magnetic current is the current more associated with the chakra system
Hmm.
because It's the way the light comes in and we transform it into the chemical substance. And then we also have the electrical system. The electric, like there's electricity that runs from outside. You know how lightning and stuff comes down and hits the earth.
Mm-hmm.
There's also lightning that shoots from the earth back out to the sky. It goes both ways.
Mm-hmm. So this is like the central point that collects all of it, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's like we have inside our heart is electric. It generates electrical energy and it generates electrical magnetic energy. And science now, like Heart Math Institute, is one research group who has studied and shown that the heart actually produces more energies than our brains do. It produces all this electrical energy and all this electrical magnetic energy. And kind of the way it does it, the body is so perfect and beautiful, is that there's 4 chambers in our heart, and the blood goes through the chamber, but it goes boom, boom, and each chamber that it goes through, it squashes back and forth, and it's doing this on a rhythmic motion. It's the same kind of a principle as putting these buoys in the water and having them go up and down, and it's creating electricity.
I see.
It's the same thing with our blood going through our heart, going through the 4 chambers, and the way it goes boom, boom, the way all of our heartbeats, everybody's heartbeats a little different. They're all not all quite the same. We kind of have the same general rhythm, like boom, 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 but everybody's a little bit different. And the heart beats, and then you're creating all this energy every time your heart beats. Right. So once the spirit enters into the heart inside the womb, and the force of life goes, your electric generating motor begins in your heart.
Okay. I want to ask you something about this now. Things are not the same as they used to be, I think. You and I have talked a fair bit about the shift of consciousness, which is moving in a planetary way. It's moving in the whole human species and each within us individually. And the changes that are happening within the heart, I don't know, because I think that I can sometimes physically feel it, that there are times where, like, for example, if I say, oh, okay, I'm open to whatever you'd like to download, source, whatever is new that will help me evolve while I sleep tonight, and suddenly there's this fluttering going on around the heart. Do you know much about that at all?
I would say it would be your response to your higher self and the way you're going into your soul. And
it's a new feeling, it's the fact that it's not every time, but there are times when that happens now, because it's like a little fluttering. It's not like a heartbeat. And I'm sort of a little bit more used to it now. I go, oh, okay, I understand what's going on. There's like some sort of download happening right now, or it's, I understand that also the heart has got its own neurological system, and the medical people are starting to understand that better now too.
Yeah, it has its own brain system. So it has it's pulsating energy. So, you could, and when we're coming into the heart chakra, we're cleaning up the energies of our heart too. I mean, it's like the ideal goal, and I think the goal of a lot of this, of what we're talking about with ascension, and a lot of people are experiencing, is that we're pulling the energy from our solar plex, which was more of the me survival instinct. Like, I have to get this and eat, I have to get this. And we've been running on the solar plex, which has its own brain too. So the thing is, like, we have these 3 main brains, one in our head, which is supposed to like keep it all together. It's just a filing cabinet. Our heart, which actually controls everything. Our heart controls so much in our bodies. And so then how we process all these information, plus it's all vibration. So as we get closer to our higher, truer expression of ourselves, then it's going to cause our bodies to have feelings and heart palpitations, which is kind of like what you're talking about. Your heart is,
And I wonder that also it brings the emotions more to the surface, to sort of start feel things. I had to sort of start laughing as well. That there used to be a viral video on about a guy looking at a little rainbow. Do you remember that one? And he's just going nuts. He looked like he sounded like he was on grass. He was so beautiful, and he was crying, and you could see he was holding the camera, so you couldn't see who he was. He just was crying and going so crazy about this double rainbow. And yet there have been times where It's something so beautifully simple, like a lovely sunset or something, where I feel completely overwhelmed emotionally, and I'm kind of laughing at myself at the same time that these emotions are now coming. They're more on the surface. You cannot bury them anymore. It's a more honest way of living, I guess.
Well, that's what I feel. I feel like we're going to start coming from our heart, and this is kind of like what the consciousness. Our heart brings us into more of the unity consciousness, and it's like we're going to feel more connected to things, like everything, even the things outside of us. We feel more like this emotion, like we feel connected to the sunrise. We feel connected to people. I mean, we feel connected to things all around us, and we want to live in that feeling.
Yeah,
and if you're tuned into our heart, and we allow good heart health, like taking care of our bodies and our emotions, and knowing that we're loved by the universe, and that we have a right to accept unconditional love as our foundation for life, that we're all beings of love first of all, more than all this other ego drama that we played ourselves into. Humanity is beings of love. We are divine. We're a divine concept first, which means our soul is created by Prime Creator, which is our heart. So the heart controls the pineal gland. The pineal gland controls the pituitary gland. So it's like the pituitary gland controls all the glands in the body. So it's like if you are vibrating in love and stuff, then you're going to be sending the right love frequency to your pineal gland, which is going to open up the third eye.
Yeah.
Which will open up.
Which we'll talk about another day.
Which we'll talk about another day. But then that activates the pituitary gland to either make the organs, all these other ductless glands, run one way or another. So if you're stressed, or if you live in fear, you're going to have all this other chemical reactions happening. And it's going to cause the other vibrations in your body to be qualified or allow vibrations into your body. The other big thing that's really important is that when people are just going through the chakras, and you have other people, like usually they just go up and down through the chakras, and they kind of bypass the heart, they get into they want to open up the third eye, they want to like shoot out the crown, they want to go and be all these things. But what happens if you just go straight up the chakras and you kind of just overlook the heart, and you try to stay in the head with like opening up the third eye in your head and trying to get out of your body through your head, that's where you stay. You don't even go to the head.
Right.
You don't really go any farther.
So you got to add the love ingredient to the whole thing before you continue up, don't you?
Yeah. Before you really open up your perceptions and see, and before you can actually, the heart kicks in what they would call the Merkaba, which is basically the Merkaba would be the activations to help start spinning these orbs, and each chakra being an orb, and each thing being a pulsating, living, geometric, beautiful, like painting or whatever. It's like we're all based with all these vibrations and all these sounds, and it all makes these geometric shapes around us, and then the geometry fits us in with different dimensions, and it gets activated from the love vibration. You can't think yourself to activate the Merkaba.
No, it has to come from the heart, doesn't it?
Feel it from the heart vibration and be at peace in the love, and then the love, like at a moment, starts activating it, and we're all still learning how to activate it even more. So
yeah. I noticed walking around as well. Can I just ask as well that when we go, if I go into the city and I'm looking around, that people still, some places are more friendly than others, but you still see a lot of people with a closed heart, and it's a natural defensive thing to do. They'll look you in the eye and they'll just look away. They're distracted. They're not present. And it's a closed heart. So I was thinking the other day about how sometimes we talk about people being cold-hearted, which sounds like a judgment, whereas if you just see them as a closed heart, they just haven't got to the next stage of being able to open it. And I had, through the channeler that I do a lot of work with, they talk about if you can learn to live with an open heart, which sounds terribly vulnerable, but it is in fact the most powerful way that you can live.
Well, it comes back to, yeah, you have to live with open heart. I mean, in America, it's one of the biggest diseases is heart trouble and heart attacks and heart, everything about the heart, because you can't be disconnected. The heart is
Mm.
what connects us to everything. Like my belief is in the center of our heart, which is the seed atom of creation, which is the spark of the divinity, which is in all of us, is the center to everything. So if you get down to the atomic structure, we have the center nucleus, and if that center nucleus is love, it's the same center that's inside the tree, it's inside the
Mm.
earth, it's inside every animal, it's inside every plant, it's inside. Basically, it's what's the consciousness of it all is. So the center where everything comes from the center out is this love vibration. That's the energy that kind of holds it all together.
Okay. All right. So can we kind of see if we can find a way to, if you got an exercise, like last week, you had a really lovely exercise of undulating the tummy and touching and loving the tummy, which is, I have to say, for a woman, that's a very unusual thing for me to do as an exercise through this week. So we're so often just so fed up with our tummies because it just doesn't look like it's 3 inches wide like the supermodels, and so therefore it's not good enough.
Well,
And it's really since we had, someone like Beyonce who says, are you ready for this jelly being bootylicious? Really, that song, there's something about that made me go, oh, really, jelly's okay. So I'm getting a bit off topic, but it's just learning to love that tummy was
no,
very interesting thing to not try, but to actually do for a week has been quite different.
that's good. I'm glad you did it. We have to love every part of our body. This is what your heart chakra is another thing. It was like self-love, and that's like the image in our stomach. Why don't we have that? That's all the digesting part of media and everything else telling you that you're not beautiful and all this other self-image.
Absolutely. When everybody's got a wobbly tummy, really, unless they deliberately go and work out a lot or they don't eat a lot.
Every human being is, whatever their weight and stuff is, if you can love yourself, it doesn't matter. If you love all the parts of your body, then you're going to make it to be the best that it can be. And whatever that is, it doesn't matter as long as you feel good with your shape and your size and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Actually, an interesting story here as well. Before you give us the exercise for the heart as to what we can do for this week, I just want to tell you this story. There was a friend that I had who was dying of cancer, and I couldn't reach her. She was already in hospice. She was in a different country. So I just kept sending her beautiful images of using all her senses and imagining seeing her in lovely situations, playing at the beach and in the water or running, playing with her children on a big swinging out, graceful, like all this. And I would describe it and write in a little text message to her. And I never knew if she was getting them or not. I did get one thank you message back from a nurse. And then when she passed away, I went and sat in my room as soon as I heard and just focused on her. And I was there for quite a long time before I fell into a deep enough state, I think. And then suddenly she was there. She passed over and she was there and she was behind me and she was so big. You have no idea. It was like I was smaller than a flea on her nose. I was really there. I was sort of between the eyes, but her eyes were so far apart because her face was so big that I couldn't actually see the start of each eye. They were in the distance on the horizon kind of a thing. She was so big. And as soon as I recognized her, I got those cyber hugs. She kind of wrapped herself around me like it was formless, by the time you're out of the body. So it was like a cloud being this warm blanket wrapped around me, and it was so tingly. And then it disappeared. It was kind of like a thank you for what I'd been sending her. And from that moment forward, I suddenly thought, if that's really how big a soul is compared to a little tiny human body, then why on earth are we making such a fuss about whether we're this wide or a little bit wider or a little bit narrower? Honestly, it makes no difference at all.
Well, that's a great realization, because it's like, it's just the matrix that we've been living in that tells people that it's bad. If you turn off the TV and start living in your communities and just, appreciating yourself. I mean, there's that, but then there's definitely some food issues in America
Of
where they've
course.
had
Yeah.
people
Once you learn to
poisonous
love yourself, you
foods.
fix the food issues at the same time, of course. I get
Right. And
that.
then so, but the heart is about, it's about letting unconditional love flow through us. And it's like, what stops that from happening? And this is all the lower heart. I think we should definitely divide this up into two segments. Like
Okay.
next week, we can talk about the higher heart.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
brings
idea.
us into a lot of other.
We'll start with the green
This
one
is just
then.
like the green one, but the green is like I said, these are orbs. So it's like the whole orb. So it's kind of like taking our chest cavity. So the green orb, the green is which also is like the healingness of life and plants.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's associated with growth and nurturing and that's what the heart does. It's feeding us with this energy. It's feeding the chakras. It's bringing us into that heart connectiveness. So I don't know if
what can we do to kind of to open that up a little bit if we want? If we have an exercise for this week, what would that be?
Well, basically, you put your both hands on your chest. You're not going to see me. That's too bad.
You still got, yeah. That's all right. I'll do it.
But
so just a bit lower then.
Yeah, you just put them right on your chest, like right above your breast. You just put both hands like right there in your chest, maybe just around your breast where you feel comfortable. And you just breathe in, but you put both hands. So you're putting your left and your right hand. So now you're connecting your left side with your right side all into the center of your heart. And you just breathe into it. And then now you're getting the other chakra, you're getting the other lower chakra. So you're squeezing your butt to get the base chakra pump going. And then it comes up in your solar plexus, and you're moving your solar plexus. And you're breathing in and out of your solar plexus. And are you doing this? So now all the energy is coming into your heart because it's all pumping up from the bottom, and you're squeezing your butt cheeks and moving your solar plexus, and you kind of just you're kind of bypassing your sexual chakra. Not that you can push on the pubic bone, but from the internal point, and you're moving your stomach. You're breathing in and out, and you just really breathe into your heart, and you stop your head. You don't think, and you just put your both hands on. You just start breathing into. Now you breathe into you can feel your hands on your chest, on your breast and your chest, and you can feel the warmth of both hands. And you just keep breathing into that. And at the same time, you're pulling up the air through your solar plexus. Your solar plexus. So you breathe into your solar plexus. You're bringing that up in your heart, and you're breathing right into your heart. And you can feel that warmth of your hands on your chest. On the left and the right side, your male and female sides are sitting there. You're being balanced between the polarities within yourself. And you just
is there some sort of affirmation we can add to this? Or is it really just the vision of lifting that energy up to the heart and letting it fall back down?
Yeah, no, we're just bringing it to the heart. We're just like actually, see, this is where it really becomes mega heart, because we're allowing our high heart, which is our soul and our other parts of our beingness, to flow through us from the inner worlds, from our inner truer self, like all that love that pours from within us, because we all have an inner universe. It's like your universe, but it's like you can go so far in that you're out again. But we have this inner part where our soul connects to us, that takes us, the doorways to our dreams, to our souls, to all dimensions. Comes right here. This is the connecting point.
Okay.
And do this
that sounds lovely. So you can really just do that, just even for a few minutes, or while you're waiting at a traffic light in a car.
Yeah, if your head gets too busy, just put both hands on your chest and breathe into your heart. Breathe into your hands on your heart, and you can feel the energy, because now both of your polarities are going feeding right back into basically the motor that's generating it all. So you're creating these loops of pure love that's just flowing around.
Yeah, and just by letting go, and in those few minutes, that whatever chaos is going on in your brain just gives it a rest, and you sometimes end up with quite a different perspective, don't you, by the time you go back to it. Or maybe you don't need to go back to it. A lot of the time we end up worrying about stuff that we are not going to have a better quality thought about right now anyway. So you better just set it aside, wait for the right insight to come to you later on that gives you the clarity that you need.
Yeah, that's what you do. So you say the heart's the center, so I'm going back into my heart. It's like, okay, head, okay, stomach, okay, world around me. Everything is gone, but let me just get centered here and just feel and be without thinking or doing. See, that's the thing. You come back into
Yeah.
center. And then now when you go back out, whatever was, going on, it'll probably resolve itself much easier now because you've just taken that moment to relax and center yourself again. And,
Yeah. And drop
that's the thing. It's
the
always
resistance,
like
isn't it?
that gets us going. And,
yeah. Drop the grey cloud.
but everything's connected.
That's lovely. Thank you for that. Is there anything else we need to just add about the lower heart before we close up for tonight?
Yeah, just be open to receiving love and to giving love, and be open to receiving love from everything around you, from your own self. Be open to receiving love from yourself to yourself in a healthy manner.
That's lovely.
Loving yourself for your true self, and then know that you're loved by the universe. It's like we live in this world but there's a lot of chaos going on right now. It looks like this world is just pure darkness, and we find pockets of light with people. But the truth of it is we're all loved, and if we remember that, and we remember that to each other, and look into each other's eyes and connect, we can start spreading this love, this real love.
Yeah, that's right. It's way more powerful than anything the media can put together to try and scare us.
And we can start to not be afraid. It's like love. There's two things in our head. We can either be loving and understand it's a trusting universe, even though things happen around us. We know that in the end there's no death, so that we're all just going to pass through everything. But we can live with love, or we can live in fear.
Yeah, that's it. It's one or the other.
Choice.
Yeah, that's it. Very good.
Yeah, because fear can't live with love. I mean, it's not the opposite. Fear it's not the opposite.
Okay.
It's a totally different energy frequency. It's not like love and hate where people get into the opposites. This is love, like the love that's a vibration of warm feeling that flows around us, and it opens us up to. I know it's really hard to say about what love is. It's like a vibration. It's a sense of knowingness with the universe.
It's what every poet and every songwriter has ever tried to describe, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not just the romantic love that we're talking about, or the love that you have for your children and stuff.
But you can be loving like the monks do, where they're loving with even the inanimate objects that are around you. Like you could slam a door, or you could respect the door and treat it nicely. I mean, I think that's more how the monks work, isn't it? That they treat everything with respect, knives and forks, and you can, if you do that very gently, live life gently, then the life will treat you gently in return.
Well, basically, that's true. I believe that too. I think, I respect everything and treat everything. I send out love to everything because everything has consciousness. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, which it's hard to understand at the moment if it doesn't actually live and breathe and give you a hug. But it's true. Yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds lovely. Thank you for the discussion today on the fourth chakra. So next week we'll look at the upper heart.
The higher heart chakra.
The higher heart. Lovely. Okay. Thank you so much, Jeffrey.
Have a good day.
See ya. Bye.